You know, in the secular world, they talk about that 1%. Those that are not afraid to succeed, those that are not afraid to try. They talk about the 1% that go forward, that put all they have into what they are seeking to do and accomplish their goals. And how do you know the 1%? If you never know them personally, how can you identify them? Look at their life. Look at the things that they are doing. They're waking up early in the morning. They are applying themselves. They are cutting out some things that need to be cut out, whether it's TV, whether it's hanging out in the street with friends who really not adding value to them. I'm not saying that you get rid of your friends. I'm talking about if you are seeking to achieve your goals and your dreams, sometimes people can pull you away because they tell you, hey man, let's go hang out. Hey man, let's go do this. Let's go to the club. Let's go and do all these different things. And those things have nothing to do with the vision that you have in life. So there's times when you have to cut out some things. And when you look at that 1% and the way they're living their life, you are seeing the evidence that they are seeking or they are going after their goals. So it's the same thing when it comes to believers. There is a 1% who truly believe and who is truly putting action behind what they believe. And I want to read a couple of scriptures to you to back it up. Let's talk about Matthew 7 and 14. And it talks about you can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad and its gate is wide for many who choose that way. But the gate to life is very narrow and the road is difficult. And guess what? And only few ever find it. That's the part. I want you to zoom in on that right there. I'm gonna read that again. This is verse 14. Matthew 7:14. It says, but the gateway to life is very narrow and the road is difficult, which means that there are going to be some challenges. There are going to be some ups and downs. But it says, because of the challenges and because of what people are hearing, it distracted them that they cannot see the road. They cannot find the one. And sometimes some people opt out and are looking for the easy way out. They don't want to face in the challenges. They don't want to jump over those hurdles. So they're finding the easy way out, making excuses why they can't. It says very few find it. You talk about the 1% here now. This is the 1% we're talking about. Okay, let's move on to James. James 2 and 14 said, what good it is, dear brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, but don't show it by your action. In other words, you can say you have it. Where's the evidence? As a matter of fact, where is the evidence? The evidence is the action that you're taking. You believe it and you're taking action to back up what you're saying. Can that kind of faith save anyone? Okay, verse 15 says, suppose you see a brother or a sister who has no food or clothing, and you say goodbye and have a good day. Goodbye, have a good day, stay warm and eat well. But then you don't give that person any food or clothing. What good does that do? What good does that do? We're talking about the 1% now. The 1% who believe and who is putting action behind what they believe. The 1%. And how can you identify the 1%? I'm going to get to that. Here it says in verse 17, it says, so you see, faith by itself isn't enough. You saying you have faith, you're declaring and decreeing and you're confessing that you have faith. It said faith by itself is not enough. Unless it produce good deeds, it is dead and useless. I'm going to read it again so you can get the whole picture. It says, so you see, faith by itself isn't enough. Unless it produce good deeds, it is dead and useless. In other words, the faith must be backed up by action. You hear all these different things. You're hearing things. You hear things going on. You're hearing all these different opinions and posts in and people are voicing their opinion and saying what they got to say concerning the economy and what is going on around us and all these different things that is happening. And from what you're hearing, you can also tell where their faith lies. If they have faith, if they're putting action behind it, because listen to what they're saying. Hey, how many of us go to a place of worship? How many of us read the Bible? How many of us say we believe it? 100%, right? If you talk to a believer, they'll tell you, I go to church, I read the Bible, I believe it. But here's the difference. The 1% is the one now who is going to act on their faith, put action behind the faith. You're not going to see a brother in need and just tell him, you have the goods right there. You have the goods. And you're not going to just tell him, go ahead, be warm. I hope you eat well, when you could have shared with that brother. And the reason why most people don't share, because they are afraid that they won't have enough. They have a scarcity mindset. That's why I talk about a renewed mind will change your lifestyle. When the mind is renewed, you understand that you have available to you the abundance. You have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You can come up with some wonderful ideas that creates wealth. You can come up with some wonderful idea, natural food, natural herbs that will heal your body. You can come up with so many things that you can put together that bring much blessing into your life and be a blessing to someone else, and also increase in your life that you have surplus to be a blessing to someone else. So you see, faith by itself isn't enough unless it produces good deeds. It has to produce good deeds. Here, listen to 18. Now, someone may argue some people have faith and others have good deeds. But I said, how can you show me your faith if you don't have good deeds? I will show you my faith by my good deeds. In other words, I have one bread, I have a family, and I'm going to share with you. I'm going to give you half. I'm going to take the other half home. We're going to make do. We're going to put something else with that. Whatever we have to do to make it work so that all of us going to eat, but I'm not going to see you starve to death. I'm going to give you a piece of my bread. On the flip side of that, someone have a bread and they're looking at the economy. They're hearing all these different things about there's shortage of this, shortage of that, how the price is going up. And guess what? They're going to keep this just in case for rainy day. They're going to keep it just in case we need it, while someone else is over there hungry. While someone else, I'm not saying you take away your livelihood and just give it to someone and you're going to starve to death. No, they say if the plane is going down, let's not look at it as it's going down. If there's turbulence, put the mask on your face first. In other words, you have to be strong enough to help someone. So you need to eat so that you can help someone. You could get them somewhere else so that they can get something to eat. But if you are not strong enough, how can you help someone else? But your faith must produce good deed in order for you to see the evidence that you truly believe. So many people say they have faith. So many people say they believe. So many of us, we go to church, we read it every day, we quote it, we talk to other people, and we're so energized about it. But when it comes to put that faith into action, only 1%. Go back to the 1% of those who arise early in the morning, those who take what they heard from a mentor, a podcast, or whatever they read and put it into action. 1%. 1% would do that. And when you look at the percentage of people who's really successful, is because they apply themselves. They were willing to do, as they say, if you're willing and obey, you will eat the good of the land. Only sometimes 1% are willing to do that. They'll say all this stuff, all these things, make it sound so good and nice. And I'm not looking down at anyone, and I'm not pointing finger and judging anyone. I'm just saying you will, well, let me read this. John 15, it says, 15 and 5, it says, yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce what? Much fruit. If the word remain in you and you remain in the principles, the word which is the word, you will produce much fruit. In other words, you hear it, you believe it, and you act on it. Faith without works is dead. It is useless if there's no works behind it. You can say as much as you want, how much faith you have, but until you begin to put action behind that, it is useless. And that's why I said to my head of household, my man, husbands who are faithful to your family. When the family is looking to you for provision, you know, as a husband takes on the responsibility and they are stepping into the role and take their commitment seriously, when they look to you, you look to the creator for your resources so that you can be a blessing to your family. You look to the creator. If you are going out there trying to do it on your own, you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to wear yourself out. I love what it says. Say, yes, I am the vine. You are the branches. Those who remain in me remain in the world, and I in them will produce much fruit. It says, from apart from me, you can do nothing. Verse 6 says, anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered up into pile to be burned. Why? Because they're useless. They're not producing no fruit. They have nothing to give. They have nothing to render. They're not producing anything. Verse 7 said, but if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want. And I love this word. And a lot of people try to overlook this word. When it says anything, if it said don't add or take away from what was written, and it says anything, why would you try to play down that word? Why would you try to dumb it down or try to water it down to make it seem like you're so humble? It say anything means anything. You may ask for anything you want. And if you, no, I'm going to read it again. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. It will be granted. Verse 8, this is the kicker right here. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to the Father. Zoom in on verse 8. It says, when you produce much fruit, this is the 1% who is willing to believe. As Jesus Christ says, the works that I do, you will do those works and greater works. If you believe, the 1%. And how do you know? How do you know? Just look at the lives of those around you and look at your own life. I look at my life. If I'm not producing, something is wrong right here. If I'm claiming that the word is in me and I'm in the word and I'm not producing fruit, something is wrong. Either I am not believing I'm just claiming that I have faith, but I'm not putting no action behind it. Faith without works is dead. Just like they have in the secular world, that 1% that is willing to do because they understand that they can. They're not saying that I can't. And I said it to my head of household, watch what comes out of your mouth. Watch what comes out of your mouth. It identifies what you believe in your heart. It signifies what you believe in, what you say. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Stop saying that you can't. Stop saying that I will never be able to do anything or have anything. I can't do this. I can't do that. It says right here, but if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything. What do you need help with? And the creator could send the help in so many different ways, through people like me, through other people that surround you. You know, one of our desires is to make sure we are trying, I would say, to plant that seed of encouragement into the head of household, that it will not just impact his life, but impact the whole family life, because he begin to understand and believe who he is, and he begin to go after what he believed. He began to act upon the word, as it says, if you're willing to obey, you will eat the good of the land. He is willing to obey. And guess what? As he put the words into action, as he began to act upon what he believed, guess what? Things began to happen in his life. And he is now joining that 1% and is increasing. But you have the same action where the secular people are doing, the ones who believe that they can succeed in life, the ones who believe in business. And I believe it's the same faith, man. It just believe that you can. It just believe that you can, and you act on it. There's nothing different. It's just that one believe and one don't believe. One believe, one don't believe. We all of us, how many people that you know that reads the Bible, that go to church Sunday, Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, sometimes two service on Monday, on Sunday, two service on Sunday. But look at their life. Look at the fruit that they're producing. Look at your life. I had to examine myself and look at my life. And I tell people all the time, I say, when I look at my life, if I ask for something and the evidence is not there, if I don't see it granted in my life, I had to check myself. Did I believe? Am I doubting what's going on here? Because I know the creator, he don't make mistake. The creator does not make mistake, period. Let me just put it this way. The creator does not make mistake anyway. He does not make mistakes. Everyone who asks, receive it. So are you one of those of the 99% that is saying and claiming, but yet not acting or not believing? And you will say, well, I'm judging you. Well, okay, I'll bring the evidence. It says, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you will produce fruit. What it said, when you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. In other words, because of the word in you, which you are producing fruit, which signify that you believe. You believe you are the true disciple because you're hearing it from the master, you're hearing it from the creator, and you take it in and you begin to act on it. The 1% is not only in the secular world where they say that only 1%, the 1%, have so much of the world's wealth. Is not only in the secular world. Bring it over to the believer's world. There is only 1% that truly believe and act like it said, faith without works is dead. Show me your faith and I show you my faith by my works, by my deeds. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to stand by you. That's what I do with Head of Household. We're talking about husbands so that we can build stronger relationships, stronger marriages, so that our kids, I'm not talking about color, background, culture, I'm talking about people. So our children would not end up in the street because someone walk away because he think that he's not good enough. He won't be able to develop his skills. He won't be able to learn anything because he listened to what these people out there saying, talking about you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Look, anyone could learn anything if he puts his mind to it. If he is willing to obey, he will eat the good of the land. Anyone. It's up to you. It's up to you as a man think he becomes. What are you thinking about? What you heard that you're thinking on that now you refuse to believe what the Creator is saying about you. That you can, that you already have it, everything pertaining to life and godliness. I'm just here to encourage my man so that they themselves can succeed in life. They can evolve into be the men that God created them to be so that their family could have a wonderful life, not living your life in fear, not living your life according to what the news is saying, not living your life according to what someone said about you in the past to the point that you just stop trying. Come out of that 99% and come over to the 1% and increase that 1% by your action. Let your action be seen so that they can know that you truly believe. And remember this now. When you put the word to work, when you send your word out, it will not come back to you void. It will produce in your life. It will always produce in your life because as the scripture said, it will never return back to the creator void. It will go back. It will come back to you producing much fruit. It's up to you. The life you want to live, you got to choose. Blessings and curses before you. You choose today. But I can tell you one thing, if you choose life, you and your seed will live. There will be abundance in your life that when you see, as the scripture talk about, what good it is, dear brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, you see another brother and sister in need, you have the goods right there and you're telling them to go, be warm, be happy, just have a good life, have a good day, when you could have shared something with them, when you could have given them even a slice of bread that will help them to get a little bit stronger so that they can fend for themselves. Don't allow fear to cripple you. Don't allow what the world is saying to keep you back, to prevent you from producing much fruit. As you produce, you'll be able to share with others. And what you do to the least of these, as they said, you're doing it unto the Creator because He loves humanity. The Creator loves humanity. Remember this though. A renewed mind, it will not just change your life, but it will change your lifestyle. Your lifestyle. It will change the way you live. It will change the way you are doing things. It will change the way you see things. It will change your relationship. It will change your whole life, I should say. It will change everything about you because you begin to see yourself not as a victim, but as a conqueror, someone who can overcome anything in life, anything that life throws at you. You know why? Because you continue to grow. You grow. You have that mindset not to stand still. You're developing your skills, the gift that you have. Those gifts, you are working on them, putting them into to use, and they're getting stronger and sharper and better. And that's why you can overcome anything. The weapon will form, but it will not prosper because you are strong. There's greatness in you. There is greatness in you. I love you guys. Until next time, this is Nelson Peace. Don't forget to check us out at Nelson Robinson Sr. HOH, our YouTube channel. Go there, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And also, you could drop me a line and let me know if I'm helping you with these videos. Until next time, I love you guys. Peace, and we out.